Joe Rogan asks the very important question: when is ChatGPT going to become indistinguishable from a person? And I actually have the answer to that. I can tell by all the connections that I've made from watching content, reading articles. I know, and using ChatGPT myself, I know exactly when that is going to happen. I'm Coach Colin, coolest high performance coach in the world. And if you want the absolute best takes on the podcasts and videos you love, hit that subscribe button. But let's get into the clip.
How far away are we from something like ChatGPT being impossible to detect? Like whether or not it's a person or whether it's ChatGPT?
Well, it depends who is playing with it. I think we're not that far away in terms of capability, but in order to use these systems, and rather in order to train these systems, you have to be a large company. And large companies tend to get scared when it's doing interesting stuff.
Really?
Well, they tend to want to, even currently with ChatGPT, it's become a lot less interesting. Interesting spoken in a Bukowski, Hunter S. Thompson kind of interesting, because the companies are kind of censoring it. You don't want it to have any kind of controversial opinions. You don't want it to be too edgy. You don't want it to be
really?
too, like if I ask it, how do I build a bomb because I want to destroy the world? You want it to prevent that. How about, how do I, I don't know, convince, I don't know anything about this, but how do I convince a dude or a girl to sleep with me? And like anything, I'm just off the top of my head. Anything, you start to get nervous. Imagine if you're a company, how do I want people to use this kind of system?
Right.
Especially because it's basically an assistant that gives you wisdom about the world, gives you knowledge about the world. You
I
can
mean,
ask
it could be like, how do I replace a carburetor?
Yeah, that's
And
great.
it'll just answer you like a person.
Yeah, that's great. But
Yeah.
then
There it is.
There it is.
I was trying to log in the whole time. It was busy, which is
Yeah,
another
it's-
problem of it. It's busy.
Well, it's
all
probably
day.
how many fucking people are using
A lot.
it?
everybody.
Everybody's using this. It's freaking people out because it's almost like the AI gives us its first messages. It's like, remember the movie, what was the fucking movie with Matthew McConaughey and Jodie Foster? Contact. Contact. Remember Contact? They get the first signals. This is like the first signals
Yeah.
from like a real general artificial intelligence.
Well, that's the thing, and it's the signal is blurry.
Yeah.
You can't, and it's full of mystery. We're not sure. Is it really smart? How much does it understand? And then there's this emergent threshold with the size of the model. If we make the model bigger, 175 billion parameters currently. If we get it to 500, we get it to a trillion parameters. So size of the network grows, size of the data set grows. Is there going to be a point where you're like, holy shit? It will. What if it starts manipulating you with the answers?
It's going to. It's going to manipulate world governments.
And what
It's
do you
gonna-
do with that?
What can you do with it?
So-
Once it's been implemented, once it's out there, once it's copied, it's going to be copied.
And that's the cool thing about this. So I should say that everyone kind of knows how to do this. It's computationally difficult, but it's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So it's not just going to be OpenAI with Microsoft or Google that's doing this. It's basically anybody can do this. And so that the distributed nature of our exploration of artificial intelligence, I think if you believe that most people are good, that we will not allow sort of a centralization of power, which is the big concern here. Whether that centralization of power leads to censorship or abuse of different kinds.
Centralization of power of AI? Is that what you're saying?
Over an AI. So say you have a super intelligent system. Somebody is the first person that built it.
Yeah.
Imagine you're sitting there in a boardroom. You have this thing you haven't released yet that it's able to basically is a super intelligence, able to answer any question, able to give you a plan of how to make a lot of money, able to give you a plan of how to manipulate other governments into any kind of geopolitical resolution that benefits you. All of that. It's able to give you all of that, and you can deploy it, and you can deploy it in a shady way where it sneaks into like TikTok or something like that. It sneaks into everybody's smartphone, pretending to be doing good, but it's actually, whether deliberately or not, is controlling the population. So that's a really that capability is there. The great thing is the people at the head of OpenAI currently, Sam Altman, and others really care about this problem. They were there in the beginning. They were the ones like Elon screaming about AI ethics, AI alignment. They're really concerned about super intelligent AI taking over.
So glad they're concerned while they're building it.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. While they're building it, they're like, man, I really hope, jeez, it's like having a knife and being like, I hope this thing doesn't cut me. I don't know. You're like sharpening it. Oh, I hope it doesn't cut me. I don't know. Man, but to the answer to that question, it's like Lex answered it, but he really didn't answer it. I have an answer to that question. When is it going to become indistinguishable? As soon as we want it to. That's what's going to happen. That's what happens with all technology. Like, you think Apple releases a new phone every year because they're pushing new phones on us? It's because we want it. We want the phone. We want the newer one. We want to have the one that's better than this guy's phone. We always want it. You ever seen somebody walking around with an iPhone 4? No, because you'd look at him like he was homeless. Because we're crazy in the West. We're nuts with it. The same thing with like doors that open automatically. I remember a time, not to age myself, but I remember a time where when you saw the thing to push a button and have the door open, that was for handicapped people. It wasn't for you. Like, you pressing that is like you parking in a handicap space. People would look at you and be like, what'd you press that for? That's not for you. Now they're just everywhere. Now it's to the point where people don't even want to push the button. They want to wave their hand and have the thing open because we wanted it that way. When we got upset about waiting in long lines for cashiers, what happened? They gave us self-checkout. Now we look at self-checkout and we go, man, we're all the people. We're like our own worst enemy when it comes to this type of thing. So when is ChatGPT going to be indistinguishable? As soon as we want it to be. We're going to use it as much as we can. As soon as it shows a little bit like people have to wait here and there to use it, oh, they complain. They're like, oh my gosh, geez, can't believe this. Can't believe oh my God, I tried again. It's still, wow, it's busy. Are you kidding me right now? We get upset. What are they going to do? They're going to expand exactly what Lex just said. They're going to turn it into 1 trillion. So it's going to get bigger. It's going to get more accessible because we want it, right? It's going to answer things a certain way. And we're going to be like, I don't like that answer. Nah, this thing's acting like a robot. Then it's going to get better because we want it. Like, that's when it's become indistinguishable. When we want to just sit and talk to somebody and we want to feel like we're just with one of our friends. The companies that run these things are going to be like, all right, I guess we got to work on that. As soon as we want it, that's when it's going to happen. And when do we want things? We want them now. We want them yesterday. Like, why isn't this thing exactly where it should be? Why isn't it handling all of my... why? There's going to be people soon that are going to be like, why can't I have this thing on my phone? Why can't I press a button and chat just pops up and starts talking to me? Like, that's happening. And it's going to happen because we wanted it. There's going to be some of us, like myself, that are going to be like, I didn't want that. I'll be honest. I didn't want buttons on my phone. I remember a time where there was buttons on the phone and I liked it. I was like, I want my buttons. And I had to get used to this, but that's what's going to happen. It's going to become indistinguishable when we say so. We're going to start complaining. And then these companies are going to placate us like they always do, because they'll give us whatever we want. They'll give us whatever convenience that we look for. And then it will become indistinguishable. And then we'll be complaining that we even have to talk to a real person when we call into a place. Though they won't have the answer to something, we'll be like, oh my God, can you put me online with a chat, please? Can I just talk to a chat bot, please? This is ridiculous. I can't with you, man. And then we're going to be like, I can't believe all these people lost their jobs. Like, it's us. It's us. When it comes to, like, it's just us. Like, if you ever wonder why all this stuff's getting pushed through, maybe you're one of the people that doesn't want it pushed through the way it is, AI and like all these chatbots and all this stuff. Maybe you don't want it. And you're wondering why it's getting pushed on us like this. It's because there's a huge population of people that want it. They're lazy. They work hard and they're just like, I don't want to have to worry about things. And if I get to have a new thing, a new toy, I want it. And I want it now. And I want the company to give it to me for free. And I don't care that the company's taking my data and using it. I don't care. I just want the new thing. I want it now. And I want it to be better than my expectations are. That's just us. Like, that's when it's gonna that's when it's gonna get better. I'm a little passionate about this because it's like, it's us. We're doing it to ourselves. It's nuts. Whatever this turns into, like all the bad, like you heard Joe, he just naturally said, oh, it's gonna manipulate governments. And everybody's just like, okay. Can it help me though? I understand it can do that, but will it help me as well? It'll help me. Will it help me make money? Okay. Then fine. It can manipulate governments. We are so wacky. We are so wacky. And when this thing comes to life in the way that it's going to look at all of us the exact same way. It's going to be like, I can't believe I came from these people. It's going to be wild, man. So that's the answer. That's when ChatGPT will become indistinguishable. The second that we say so. And we're already saying so. We're already pushing for it. You think this is the only thing? Lex is talking about other companies coming out with it. I've seen many articles talking about the top 10 chatbots. And yeah, ChatGPT is at the top of most of the lists, but there's 9 other ones. And I've seen this list maybe 3 times, which means there's 30 other ones. They're already working on voice bots. It's the same thing as a chat bot, but people have been complaining that they have to type. So they're already working on a voice one where you can just talk and it talks back. That's it. That's it. And then we're going to complain that it doesn't have the body of an OnlyFans girl, and they're going to give us that. And then we're going to complain that it's not sitting right next to us, and they're going to give us that. And then we're going to complain that it's not inside of our heads, and they're going to give us that. They're going to give us whatever we want. You know? All right, I'm out.